Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, everyone. I am finally. Oh, right, I have internet now. I have some videos uploaded on my other phones that I need to upload. I'll do that when I get home. But, hello, everyone. We're finally basically done moving. There's a few miscellaneous things that could be gotten or left behind. It doesn't matter. And I'll leave that up to my mom and stepdad to get. That's not my part of the move is over. I got everything I needed from the house. I got the internet in the new apartment. I'm good. I'm set. Yeah, but I still had to wake up early today. I had to wake up early yesterday to help them with laundry, because even though I showed my Canada geese, even though I showed my stepdad how to work the new laundry machines they have here, which are they involve scanning a QR code. It's so stupid. I showed him how, and apparently he didn't get it, even though it's like only 6 simple steps. It's 6 simple steps. It's just one thing after the other thing. It's just simply clicking a button. It's not that hard, but whatever. So I showed him again, and I showed my mom. Hopefully she's smarter and can, help him. So I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I actually had to go to the doctor for a thing. And I'll talk about that later. So yeah, I had to go to a doctor for something. So I had to push that back to today. So now it's officially been 1 full week. We started moving Friday, and now it's the next Friday. So 1 full week of moving. Even though I guess technically me helping them with laundry doesn't count as moving. But, it's something I had to wake up early to help them with. So I count it as a part of the same little thing. A few days before we started moving Friday, last Wednesday, like last week, not literally the Wednesday that was just here, I had a doctor's appointment to see if I need to get SSI checks. So that was the first time I had to start waking up early to do stuff. So technically my whole ordeal started Wednesday, and I was hoping it would be over after 1 week. So I was hoping the following Wednesday would be the last time. But nope. Fate, the universe, whoever is in charge, had other plans and said, no, you gotta wake up early to help your dad or stepdad with laundry again. Oh wait, no, now you gotta go to the doctor. So push that back to today. Hopefully, they don't need anything else from me. And I can finally just go back to my normal routine. Oh God, the wind. Anyway, I figured since, I woke up early, it's not that hot yet, and my girlfriend's not awake yet, I'm gonna go on a walk to get used to my new surroundings, my new area. Learn the layout of the land and stuff. Oh God. Not a leaf blower blowing dust. I'm gonna walk this way. Anyway, I'm gonna walk from one end of my street to the other. That's gonna be what I do today. Learn how long the street is. I have to start taking that medicine for the thing. It's like some kind of lip infection, gum infection. I need a dentist, but I gotta take that medicine twice a day for 7 days. I'm gonna take it at 12 and at 6. So what time is it? I cannot check what time it is. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, it's 9:55. Yeah, I got time. Surely this won't be too long a walk. I'll get back in time to take my first medicine. And if I'm a little late, oh well. I don't think I need to be exact with the time. Medicine didn't say that. It just says twice a day. I just picked 12 and 6 because I have alarms that go off at those times. Okay, it started as a toothache. Then it evolved into a gum ache. Then my lip became stiff, sore, sensitive, numb. mostly on the right side. And then the tooth started to feel better, like I wasn't really feeling the tooth pain no more. Gum is a little sensitive, but the lip is where all the pain was now. The doctor says it may have gone away on its own if I waited long enough, but it's still good that I came anyway, just in case. So they prescribed a specific type of medicine, and they also prescribed ibuprofen and Tylenol to help with some of the other pain, and to rinse my mouth out with, salt water at least 3-4 times a day, I think. I don't remember how many times, so I'm just going to go with 5 times a day. They also said get in contact with the dentist ASAP, because, my teeth are kind of fucked. Depression, Depression and laziness. I used to be so good at keeping up with my teeth growing up. The dentists always applauded me and congratulated me for how good I took care of my teeth. And then during my mid-teens, I got depressed and stopped. And then my teeth got so bad, they had to drill them down to tiny and then put fake teeth on top of them. And now, years later, more depression, me not taking care of them. Those fake teeth are starting to rot away. And you can see the little brown teeth underneath. And I think that possibly is where this infection in my gum came from. So, look, don't worry. I started locking in and started brushing them almost every night again. Although ever since the move started, I haven't been, because I've been too tired and busy. Anyway, that's my little life update. That wasn't what this video was supposed to be about. But, figured I'd get it out of the way. I was going to talk about something else, because I've been kind of hyper-fixating on this for like a few days now. Screenplays for movies, specifically horror movies, but a screenplay for any movie is interesting to talk about. I wonder where I can find the original screenplay for the original Ninja Turtles movie, if that exists somewhere. It definitely does. I wonder if there's any big differences. Anyway. Dried Up Creek playground area. But yeah, anyway. Hopefully if the wind isn't too loud, I can continue talking without it fucking up my voice. Oh, what's with all the leaf blower people today? I'm walking towards that. I'm gonna get dust in my eyes. And speaking of my eyes, I went to the doctor. Like I did a mental doctor Wednesday. And then like on August 3rd, I went to a physical doctor to see if I had, if I needed a reason to get a check for that. And they said I've got 20/40 in one eye, 20/70 in the other. I swear I see fine when I have both eyes open. What does it matter if I have one eye closed? One eye is like worse. I'm never gonna just have to have only one eye open, I don't think. It's like all those really advanced math. Like, when am I ever gonna use this in my day-to-day life? It's like, when am I ever gonna only ever have one eye? Like, sure, sometimes dust or something gets in one eye, but just hold it shut for a few seconds and then, give it a few minutes and everything's back to normal. That's how it's always been for me. I'm never gonna have to spend a whole day with one eye closed, so I need to have good eyesight. I don't know. Maybe I'm just coping, because maybe I'm defensive about my eyes. Dust. Okay. Back onto the main focus of this video. Screenplays. So this started like the other day when I heard that, or like the other week when I heard that, since the Wes Craven estate got the rights to the original screenplay back, and then they basically leased it out or rented it or sold it to Paramount to make a movie off of. I was like, the screenplay is a different entity from the movie itself. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's still a little weird. So then a few weeks go by and we get the whole 2 Freddy reboots coming out at the same time news. One is a remake and the other one's probably just going to be a reboot. And it's like that they really mentioned the whole screenplay thing and how that's a big deal with this 2 Freddy movies news. And that really made me think, shit, screenplays really are a different beast, aren't they? So now I've just been fixating and thinking about the differences between the original screenplays to classic movies and the movies themselves. So originally, in the original screenplay, here's all the differences I know of. I haven't read the original screenplay. You can go find it online and read it, but I'm just lazy. But all the differences that I've heard about. One, obviously the biggest one, Freddy's a straight up pedo instead of vaguely implied. Just like the remake Freddy, he's a pedo. But also, instead of red and green, it's a red and yellow sweater. And the knives are different. Instead of steak knives, they're apparently fish knives. Very thin. Now, for other differences, Glenn was described more as a jock, which he is still kind of in the movie. Near the end, she mentions that he's the jock with a baseball bat or something, just grab something. But he doesn't really look too much like a big jock type guy. He's more like a nerdy guy, seems like. So, but the original screenplay is supposed to be more jockey, kind of like Rod. So it's like we would have like 2 Rods. That's a interesting difference. And finally, the biggest difference is the ending. We all know the original ending for the first movie is bad. The first movie is a great movie, classic. But even Wes Craven himself didn't like the ending because it's so confusing and so, I guess, undermining for Nancy. Like, all of her work was for nothing. But the original ending shows that she definitively won, and that was it. Unlike the new ending, which is more ambiguous. So yeah, there's the differences that I know of. There's probably more, but those are the differences I know. So that got me thinking, what about other famous movies? So next I did Halloween. And it was originally called The Babysitter Murders. And wasn't even originally supposed to take place on Halloween. That was just added in later. They had a different mask described in the screenplay, and the first novelization of the first movie was using a bit of the screenplay instead of the film. So his mask in the first novel is described kind of funny. It's described how it is in the screenplay, not the final movie. The iconic, classic, painted white William Shatner mask. It's not even a thing. Anyway, the screenplay was written and finished in 1977 in 10 days. I was trying to look up when the screenplay was finished, but I guess dates like that aren't saved anywhere, which sucks because I wanted to do something with those dates. But oh well. Anyway, next, Chucky. Oh my god. The original screenplay for the first Chucky movie didn't even have Chucky. I mean, you had a killer doll. You could say it is Chucky just with a different name. But no, Chucky is supposed to be a doll possessed by the soul of a serial killer through voodoo. Anything that's not that is not Chucky. Which is why I count the AI Chucky from the reimagining from 2019 as a different character. Filling the same role as Chucky. It's a killer doll named Chucky, but it's not the same character, in my opinion. So, going off that logic, the original screenplay, Blood Buddy, or Batteries Not Included, had a doll that comes to life when you add blood. No explanation for how or why it's alive. It's not possessed by a soul of a dead person. It's just somehow anomalously, like SCP, it's just alive, inexplicably. It's like some magic doll. And his name was Buddy, not Chucky. Which I think the reimagining took the name Buddy, and that's why the new doll in the new movies were named Buddy, as a reference. That's a cool reference. So, the original didn't even have Chucky. The original was Buddy. So I guess if Chucky is a multiverse, every universe has its own doll. It's not just different versions of Chucky in the multiverse. You know, like Spider-Man or the Ninja Turtles. No, it's every universe has its own killer doll that's not the same character. It's not the same person. So the original world had Buddy. The main universe has Chucky, and then the AI universe also has a Chucky, but it's, you know, it's not the same doll. Or maybe I'm overthinking it, I don't know. What's that noise? Did some place get broken into and that's an alarm? Spooky. Or is that a fire alarm? I have no idea. I'm just going to keep walking. It's none of my concern. So yeah, that makes me wonder. I haven't looked into the Friday the 13th original screenplay yet, but oh god, it's getting louder. I'm walking towards it, whatever it is. Oh god. Something's going on in this house. Okay, just keep walking, keep walking. What the fuck? Oh, it's both of these houses, maybe? I can't tell. It's, oh god, okay, it's getting quieter, okay. I'm moving away from it, whatever it is. God, that was loud. My ears, damn. Anyway, like I was saying, I haven't looked into the original Friday the 13th screenplay yet. I will. But I know one difference I've heard a long time ago, that the original jump scare ending from Jason wasn't there in the original. It just ends with her on the lake and then roll credits. So, if the original screenplay are a separate entity from the first movie, that means the screenplay is the first universe, not the first movie. And that means in the original Friday the 13th universe, Jason Voorhees is just dead. He never comes back as little swampy boy. Never gets the hockey mask. Never becomes the undead zombie. Never becomes the most powerful killer to ever exist in fiction ever. He's just a dead boy whose mom killed people over, and then his mom died, and that's it. Huh. Something feels wrong about that. Something feels wrong about the Halloween original screenplay not being about Halloween, and Michael looks different. Something feels wrong about the original Chucky movie screenplay actually not even having Chucky in it. Freddy being a pedo, that's odd, but at least it's still Freddy. It's still, and the minor change of the knives and the color of the shirt being different, that's minor. That's minor. It's not like the whole face is different. You know, like the mask of Michael. It feels like the Freddy screenplay is the closest to the final product compared to all of these. Except for maybe the Friday screenplay, because again, I haven't read the whole thing. I just know that jump scare ending wasn't there, and that has an implication that Jason really is just dead and gone in that world. But other than that, that's more of an implication for the whole franchise, not that individual movie. But for the other ones, like Halloween and especially Chucky, it would have been a totally different movie. It would have been totally different. That's insane. It's crazy. So, if these screenplays are way different from their final product, are they even the same multiverse? Like, can you even count it as the same franchise, same IP? Like if you were to do a multiverse story, I almost made it to the end of the street. If you did a multiverse story where you were jumping worlds, would you go back to the first movie and say that's the first universe, or would you go back to the original screenplay and say that's the first universe for some of these? Like Ninja Turtles. They go back to the original comics from 1984, and that's Turtles Prime, that's the first Turtles. But imagine if the original, before the comic even came out, the original screenplay or whatever, didn't even have the Turtles in it. It was about something totally different. Would that even be in the same multiverse? Would that just be a separate beast? Sure, the Michael here looks different, but it's still called Michael. It still has the same name and everything. But for Chucky, it's a completely different doll. Probably a different design. His name is different, and his origin is different. He's not a killer possessed with voodoo. No, it's just a randomly alive doll. It's not even AI. It's just magically, supernaturally, randomly alive with no explanation. It's crazy. Alright, time to go back. I wonder what other crazy, screenplays have differences. I know Wrong Turn. I know Wrong Turn's kind of like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to horror, but I grew up on them. I liked them. I got a nostalgic soft spot for them. We all know Wrong Turn, the 3 cannibals, 2 big ones and a little one. Or, as in the 4th movie and onwards, a big one and 2 little ones. I feel like that's a weird change. But the original screenplay said it was 3 big dudes. I think making one of them a small little dude is a good call. Distinguish them a little bit. Three Finger's my favorite of the 3. I'm glad they changed him to what he is now. He wouldn't have been as cool if he was just another big dude. I like the skinny, running around fast, acting all hyper dude. That's my kind of guy. And his laugh is so iconic. I don't care what people say. I like the Wrong Turn movies, at least the early ones. And Valus, I love you. I love your reviews, but you say the Wrong Turn cannibals aren't interesting like Jason, Freddy, Michael. I want to say Three Finger is. That laugh is too iconic. He's something. You can say what you want about the other 2, though. I kind of forgot One Eye was a thing because he dies in the first one and then doesn't come back until the 4th one. I think even though they made him smaller in 4 and onward, I think he has a bit more personality from 4 and onward. In the first movie, he's just kind of there. There's not much to him. I also thought that the father from the second movie was Sawtooth from the first one because they have the same no upper lip deformity. But apparently not. Apparently they're not the same. So I guess that's another brother that came later. Like maybe those 3 were born close to each other, and then, gas station man and his sister wife pumped out a couple more kids later. I guess. I don't know. One thing I don't know for sure, but I want to know, who the hell is that last cannibal at the end of Wrong Turn 3? For years, I thought it was just, Three Finger, because, Three Finger has survived everything so far. I figured he just survived this. But no, apparently he is officially dead, according to the creators. He died. They hooked him from the chin, out the forehead, and then he burned on that truck. He's dead. So then who's this last cannibal? Is that another sibling that we didn't know about? Is that the last one? Is that the youngest little runt sibling? Like, what the fuck? Like, let's say the original Hilliker brothers are in their 40s or something by the time the first movie. And let's say the parents from the second one, Ma and Pa, are in their 30s. Would this guy be in like his 20s or maybe his teens? That doesn't quite work, because wait, when did Gas Station Man's wife die? Would they have had time to pump out another kid? I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked. That's not what this video is about. The point is, I just wanted to talk about screenplays and their differences. And you know what? Maybe I'll go out of my way and actually read some of these original screenplays at some point. Even though I'm not much of a reader, which is ironic considering I'm trying to become a writer. Trying to become a writer, yet I don't read much. The irony. But maybe I'll go out of my way and read these screenplays just to, for the sake of completion. I'm a fan of Jason, I'm a fan of Michael, I'm a fan of Freddy. I may as well consume everything there is to consume of them. I wonder, the original screenplay, Hellraiser started out as a book, so the first universe in that multiverse would be the book, not the screenplay. So, screenplay is kind of irrelevant. But I still am interested to see if there's any major differences between the screenplay and the final movie of Hellraiser. Like, in the original book, Pinhead was supposed to be androgynous. But, they got Doug Bradley to play him in the movie, and he's very masculine. And then in the reboot, they got a woman to play him and basically gender bent, so now he's more feminine, just so they could be closer to the androgynous original. I wonder if the original screenplay for the first movie was making him androgynous, just like the book, or if they always intended to make him more masculine. I wouldn't be surprised if they, made him more masculine on purpose, because this was the 80s. Androgynous and stuff like that was still a bit of a touchy subject. Less progressive times. We're kind of falling into less progressive times nowadays. We're kind of backpedaling. We're kind of regressing instead of progressing. I'm not going to get too political. Moving on. Point is, I'm just curious. I wonder about the original Evil Dead screenplay. I gotta look into that. You know what? I'm gonna make a video about each of the big franchises' original screenplays. Oh, I know the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original screenplay had the character Sissy, who was cut from the final movie, unfortunately, because they couldn't fit her in. But even though she's not in the movie, the creators still say she is canon, even though she's not there. She is canon. She is a part of them in the original movie universe. And then they brought her back for the video game. Yay, Sissy. What other differences were there in the original screenplay? I need to look into it. I wonder if he was originally even called Leatherface. I wonder if that was made up on the spot. Was he originally always going to have someone's face on his face? Or was he just a dude with a chainsaw? See, these are the kind of things I'm wondering about. The fact that these iconic, you can't have them without this type pieces of their character. The fact that they weren't there in the original screenplay is baffling to me. It's crazy. One minor thing to mention before I end this video. I know the original screenplay for Friday 3 was different from the final movie. Slightly, the mask was described slightly differently and whatnot, and different ending. But I was mainly focusing on first movies because I'm obsessing with the screenplay thing because I'm trying to figure out what the first universe was. Because that's kind of my hyperfixation. But maybe I could look into, freaking Part 3 screenplay a bit more if I want to. I know the first novelization was more based on the screenplay rather than the movie. This is why they had to go back and make another novelization more based on the movie. So we got two, which is interesting. Oh, that's another question, but okay, I'll ask it real quick, then I'll end the video. if the first screenplay and then the movie was different from the first screenplay, so when they started making the sequels, they had to write the sequel based on the movie, not the screenplay. So then they make a screenplay for the second movie, but then they change it for the final product, just like they did the first one. Does that mean every screenplay for every movie is its own universe? Because it's not fully connected to the first screenplay, and it can't really connect to the next movie based on the next movie because they change things. So that means theoretically every screenplay, unless not much has changed, is its own standalone universe. That's deep right there. Anyway, see you guys next time. Peace.